There comes a time when we have to stop negotiating with ourselves. We have to start embracing those irreversible shifts that lead to the most unapologetic, raw expressions of ourselves. This is Sexy Rebel Spirit, the private podcast by House of Andrea that drops live every single day into our exclusive Telegram space. If you're not in that space and you want to join the conversation, you'll find the link to it in the show notes. It's sexuality, it's rebellion, it's spirituality, and how these three things are simply the expression of who you are. This is your calibration portal, and this is where it all gets to change. So let's dive in. Good morning. I wanted to drop in and share a conversation that happened a few days ago that I've been reflecting on. And I think there's some real medicine in there, both for me and for us. So I want to unpack it here for you. I'm also outside and there are some beautiful magpies singing. So I hope that you enjoy their beautiful song as well while we're chatting. So a friend of mine rang me out of the blue, and I haven't spoken to this friend, the male friend, for a good few years. And it was such a delight to catch up with them. Like, they were someone that I was quite close to years ago when I lived interstate. And I just lost touch, just as humans do, we get busy. And he reached out and we chatted the other day, and he asked me what I was doing, and I was explaining that due to the surgery, I had been given from Spirit this really strong intuitive hit to follow the thread of the sexy rebel spirit energy. And I briefly mentioned that it was about, women really tapping into that beautiful, fierce sexiness that exists within them. And what was really interesting, and where the reflection has been for me, is that almost instantly he heard these words, and it's absolutely no fault of his. I think this is a conditioning thing that exists around us. Oh, those magpies are really chatty. There's a conditioning that exists around us that we automatically associate the word sexy with sex. Because he heard the words that I was helping women tap into this sort of feeling of fire and sexiness within them for themselves. And he automatically dove into sharing his perspective, which of course is welcomed, but his perspective that, how the sexiest parts of women is not necessarily their body, it's their personality, their mind, the way they show up in life, and how, when a woman shares her mind, he gets really turned on. And I thought it was really interesting, and it's not like I really value his perspective because it catalyzed this real contemplation within me that it really isn't about sex. Finding your sexiness, finding your confidence, it's not about trying to attract the opposite. Sex is not about trying to attract someone else to lead to that level of intimacy. This is about really just feeling this fire that exists within us. So I was just listening. And obviously I do value, he's a good friend, so I valued his perspective. But as I was listening, there was a part of me that was like, this is not it. This is not it. It's not about trying to tap into this energy for someone else. And I think this is where we can get triggered, particularly as women, particularly if we've had any form of assault, of abuse, any experience that have led to us being uncomfortable, to shutting down and shaving off this sex part of ourselves, because it can feel dangerous, it can feel unsafe, really. And so when we think about claiming this sexiness for ourselves, we can get into that triggered state of like, oh no, oh, this feels unsafe. I do not want to explore what sexiness means for me because this is triggering a whole bunch of stuff in my body that I just don't want to go there. And I really want to drop this in here, in this space, because if you are feeling triggered, if you see the name Sexy Rebel Spirit, if you hear these contemplations of me talking about this word over and over and over, and you're getting that reaction, it means there's still an entanglement there between the energy of sexy and sex and trying to attract other people or trying to avoid the attraction of other people. But I want to be really clear. This is about disentangling from that. This is about disentangling from that response so that you can own this feeling within yourself, this deliciousness, this power to feel present in your body, to feel like you own and love the experience of life moving through you in your human body at this time. It's got nothing to do with the external. Of course, if that sexy energy builds within you and you want to make it about flirting, about drawing in your soulmate, your ideal partner, your experiences to experience energetic exchange with other humans, amazing. But I want you to know that that is not the primary intention of what we're talking about here when we talk about sexy. We are talking about that fire and that fuel for yourself. So it can be really powerful to just observe, like, where are you getting triggered when you see that word? Where are you falling into some old patterns or ingrained responses? Like my friend, when we hear, oh, we're talking about sexiness and we're talking about our bodies and owning that, and automatically jumping to the interaction and the attraction with other people. So I'm so grateful for this beautiful conversation with my friend. And he did raise some amazing points. But I'm so grateful for that interaction because I could see very clearly, I'm like, this is a thing that still happens. This is a thing that we still associate some of these words with. And I wanted to powerfully make the distinction of what this work is and isn't. I'm going to go now and just go and enjoy these beautiful magpies. I hope you're having a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you in the next transmission. If you're not in there yet and you want to get into the private Telegram space where all of these audios drop every day, as well as all the art, the conversation, and the behind the scenes, go to www.andrealeemathies.com/private podcast. You can also follow me on Instagram at Andrea Lee Matthies, and you can find more about me and all of my work at andrealeemathies.com. I'll see you in the next transmission.